and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of the Mike and Mike Show. And on today's show, as you can see, we have the other Mike.
Yay!
Welcome back to the show, man. It's been a while since we've done a video together. All right, so today's video, we wanted to do one on a topic that has been done before, I'm pretty sure. And hopefully we mentioned some things in here that you didn't know about. But our topic today is going to be wrestlers that have played in movies. Now, there may be some in here that you already know, and hopefully there's a lot that you don't know. So that's what we're going to do today. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a few minutes and just say thank you to everyone that has been watching the videos, to everyone that's subscribed to the channel. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. Like the video, comment, and ring the notification bell. That way you get notified of the new videos.
Ding, ding.
Now, as far as the schedule goes, I made a mistake, so that's why we're doing this video today. Tomorrow, there'll be another video tomorrow. And then next week, there'll be one on Monday and one on Saturday. We'll start the regular schedule starting next week, so that'll be Monday and Saturday. So remember to hit the notification bell. That way you get notified when they come out. Now, our list of wrestlers who have played in movies. All right, I'm going to give you the movie, and Mike over here is going to give you the name of the wrestlers that played in the movie.
The Raffle.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Starting off with number one, Highlander.
Highlander. Here we go. Now, this is old school. This is like 1986. So you may know him, you may not. Buddy Roberts, Greg Gagne, Jim Brunzell, Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy, and Sam Fatu. And for people that don't know who Sam Fatu is, it is Rikishi.
Yeah, Rikishi. And, of course, Buddy Roberts, Michael Hayes, part of the iconic Freebirds.
Yep.
And, of course, Greg Gagne was the son of Vern Gagne, who ran AWA professional wrestling back in the 80s. So, yeah.
Highlander was a good... They started out... When the credits start rolling... Excuse me. They pop up.
Yeah.
They're having some kind of match or something.
Yeah, it's a wrestling event. It's a sportatorium.
And that part stuck out in my mind whenever I was like, gosh, 10 or 11 years old. I'm sitting there going... Why is this in here? But that was the first time I'd ever seen Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy and Roberts on TV. And I was like, I want to see more.
Yeah. That movie's an iconic movie for all sorts of reasons. Yeah. But at that time period, it was different. It was kind of uncommon, I think. To see a lot of wrestlers, more than one anyway.
Especially, doing what they do.
Yeah, in a full-length feature film.
Without them not even acting.
Right.
In the movie.
Right.
So,
All right, so let's move on. Okay, so that was Highlander. Okay, so now we got another Highlander in the game, and it was...
Edge.
Mr.
Copeland.
Adam Copeland, as he goes by over in AEW. He joined the right side of the tracks, finally.
Yeah. That is his real name, by the way.
If I'm not mistaken, he was a thief.
He was.
In that movie. And it was like during one of the Highlanders' flashbacks to his early days back in the 1800s or something like that.
I forgot the dates. So.
Yeah, it was weird. It was in like the Renaissance period. Is where basically about that time period, and Edge was a thief. He fit really
long
well.
Hair, looking like a goon.
Especially in that scene, and it was great. That's one of my favorite Highlander sequels is Highlander Endgame. The other one, of course, is Highlander The Final Dimension. That was a good one too. If you haven't seen that, no wrestlers in that movie, but it was still good. Okay. So, moving on. Now we're going to move on to Die Hard with a Vengeance with Bruce Willis.
Okay. Now, some people may know this, some people don't. We had Damien Demento if people will remember him, he had a bald head. But in this movie, he actually had hair.
Okay, so
And Ludwig Borga, God rest his soul.
Excuse me.
He passed away like in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But they were Eric and Roman. They were the bad guys, of course.
Yeah.
Because they were big and they were.
And it made it harder to pick out Borga because he had hair in that. So I was never able to pick him out. So I don't know, but I couldn't pick him out from the characters in the movie because like you said, he had hair. So you know.
And Danny Demento was a bald headed man.
Yeah.
But he had hair.
Yeah. All right. So okay, moving on. Next one is oh Lord, Ready to Rumble.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Alright, here we go. We had Asia.
Yeah.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yep.
Asia, well, we'll get to that here in a minute. Billy Goldberg. Billy Kidman. Booker T.
Mm-hmm.
The referee Charles Robinson.
Yeah. Little Nate.
Kurt Hennig. DDP. Sting. There was so many wrestlers. Sid Vicious. I could go on and on. There were so many of them guys.
Perry Saturn. Perry
Saturn was in it.
Rey Mysterio.
Gene Okerlund.
Tony
Schiavone.
Schiavone. Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Tenay. I mean, this movie was loaded with wrestlers, basically because, of course, it was about professional wrestling. If you haven't seen Ready to Rumble, then you need to get hit in the head with a rock because this movie is funny as I don't know what. If you're a wrestling fan, it's necessary to watch. You have to watch this movie if you're a wrestling fan.
Because it had, what was his name? David Arquette?
Yeah,
that other guy?
David Arquette and
that Con boy,
Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monday Night Nitro!
Live, baby, live.
Live, baby, live. Live, baby, live.
Yeah, that movie is crazy.
And, the guy who played King.
Jimmy King, yes, Oliver
Jimmy
Platt.
King.
Oliver Platt was.
This guy gets kicked in the nuts 24/7, and it's funny, and it's funny, and it's funny. It felt like Richard Petty driving his stock car into my balls going 200 miles an hour.
That movie, and Jimmy King, played by Oliver Platt, is so freaking funny in this movie. So funny. So if you have not seen this movie, you definitely need to check this movie out.
And there's one part in the movie where everybody was partying and the Spice Girls were all getting all down. And Jimmy King had to get prepared for a match, and then Gene Okerlund is halfway lit.
Sauced.
and he looks at the king and says, "Do you think I'm sexy? Hey, baby, I think, Mean Jane, I think you're sexy. I think you're sexy.
Mean Jane. I think you're sexy, Mean Jane."
He said, "F this, I'm going to die." He started running. He fell into a manhole. That was the best.
That movie is hilarious.
I cracked up.
If you have not seen that movie, go watch it. And then when you do watch it, let me know down in the comments if you liked it or not, because that movie is flat out hilarious. All right. So, moving on. The Expendables.
Well, everybody knows Sylvester Stallone was in it. But Steve Austin, Stone Cold, was the coolest bad guy.
Yeah.
He was the coolest bad guy. I mean, he fit it to the T. He was, but a lot of people may know it, but some people don't. Sylvester Stallone told Austin, said, "Well, in this scene, I want you to tackle me down and throw me around, man." Austin broke his neck.
He stomped a mud hole in Sylvester Stallone and walked it dry. In that movie.
Maybe he got Sylvester Stallone to talk right again.
Maybe.
Yo.
Maybe.
Hey, yo.
Never know. But yeah, Expendables, great movie. I recently got Expendables 4. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm really dying to get into watching it. But yeah, the first Expendables, great movie. You know, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Sylvester Stallone, Terry Crews, Gary Daniels, and the list goes on and on.
Arnold.
Arnold was in was he in the first one?
He like kind of like debuted.
He debuted in the first one. I think.
He was in a chopper.
But yeah, that's an awesome movie too. If you haven't seen that movie, you need to watch that one as well. Okay, so moving on. Now we're another comedy, The Longest Yard, and we're not talking about the original.
Oh, gosh.
We're talking about the remake with Adam Sandler, and it has a buku list of wrestlers in that as well. And you might hear the kitty cat playing with his toy. But here we go.
Billy Goldberg was in it.
Yep.
Kevin Nash was in it, which Kevin Nash, I don't like you, but Austin's in it.
Steve
Khali's in it.
The Great Khali.
Great Khali.
The Great Khali.
The man that can eat like 4 chickens in one setting. I like chicken.
And I know he's from, what was it, from India?
India, something like that.
You can't understand a word coming out of the man's mouth most of the time, but that's not his fault.
Yeah.
But in this movie, he was good in this movie.
Yeah, he was funny.
He was funny in this movie, and you don't imagine seeing a big guy like that.
Yeah, him going. He was like, "Oh my balls!"
Yeah, you don't imagine seeing a big guy like that trying to be funny. But yeah, he was good in this movie. Adam Sandler's great in this movie. I think this also had Burt Reynolds in it.
It had Burt Reynolds
Burt
in
Reynolds
it.
was in it.
Michael Irvin was in it.
Michael Irvin, a lot of football players.
The
was
guy
in it.
that sang "It's Getting Hot," Nelly.
Nelly
was
in it. Yeah. So that movie's hilarious as well. If you haven't seen it. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next one, and this one is it's a B-rated kind of movie. Didn't go into major theaters, called Charlie's Farm. Now this movie not only had the wrestler in it, but it also had Kane Hodder, who was Jason from Friday the 13th, the Jason.
Jason.
Okay? There is no other Jason other than Kane Hodder.
His name
Kane
is
Hodder
Jason.
is the man, okay? So what wrestler played in Charlie's Farm with Kane Hodder?
Nathan Jones.
Nathan Jones. Now, Nathan Jones' wrestling career didn't go very far.
He didn't go too good.
Didn't go very far at all. I think they had him kind of paired up with Taker for a little while.
He was supposed to...
Yeah, he was supposed
to tag with Undertaker against...
Prince
it was Albert.
And, was it Test?
Man, he got with this trivia stuff, and there's so many years, man, stuck in my head. And I can't
anyway, he was part of a storyline with The Undertaker where he was supposed to be The Undertaker's tag team partner.
It was the Big Show.
Big Show, okay.
There's another one.
But that just kind of flopped out, and, he left and went into acting. And Charlie's Farm is a very, very good slasher film.
He's a good actor.
No, Kane Hodder is not the killer in the movie. Nathan Jones plays the killer in Charlie's Farm.
Yeah, he's a bad
and does
cat.
a very good job. A very, very good job. Now, if you watch Charlie's Farm and you actually like it, let me give you another one to go check out. And it's called Boar.
Yeah.
And he plays a Aussie who lives in Australia, of course. And he fights off a giant boar. And that's also a very good film. Very good film, I'm telling you.
So I want to do it. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oi. Yay. All right.
There's no 4 oys, there's 3.
3. Not 4, 3. Get it right. Not 4, 3. How many? 3. Okay. All right. Moving on. This next one is an old one. Now, I have not seen this film. I'm not ashamed to admit it, that I have not watched this film. And it's The Princess Bride.
My man Andre the Giant was in it. And he was so good. And there's a lot of facts that people don't know. Well, some people don't know. Some people do know. But here's a fun fact. They were getting ready to do a scene. And as big as Andre was, Rob Reiner said he cut the biggest 15-second fart and stopped production. And Rob Reiner said, Andre, what was that? He said, it was a fart, boss. He said, well, do you feel better? He said, yes, I feel a lot better. And Reiner was like, "Are you ready to go?" He said, "Let's do it, boss."
Now, like I said, I hadn't seen that movie, but I knew Andre was in the film. But I have never sat and watched it.
He was more or less the Gentle Giant. He was.
Well,
He was something else.
he was always known to be a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it be inside the ring or outside the ring, he was always known to be a gentleman.
Yep, Andre was one out of my top 5 wrestlers. He was like in my top 5. I've always liked him.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so moving on. Of course, a lot of people are going to know this one. I think this one is Arnold Schwarzenegger's Predator. Not the new one, the redo. We're talking about the original from back in '87.
And this one had the governor of Minnesota,
Yeah.
Jesse, the Body Ventura.
Yeah.
And Jesse, buddy, he could act.
Yeah. He was really good in this movie. What was that? He said he had a big old chew of dip in, or chewing tobacco. And he offered some, and nobody would take it. And he said, "What's wrong with you guys?" He said, "This right here will make you a damn sexual tyrannosaur."
Yeah. And who was it? Said Carl Weathers looked at him and said, "You're bleeding." He said, "I ain't got no time to bleed. I ain't no time to bleed."
It was the other guy. It wasn't Carl Weathers. It was one of the other characters I can't remember what his name was. He's like, "You're bleeding, man." He's like, "I ain't got time to bleed."
Yeah, I ain't got time.
He's like, "Well, you got time to duck?" And shot the grenade launcher up in the air. That movie, that is pure '80s action gold with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jesse Ventura, Sonny Landham, who played in 48 Hours, I think it was, with Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte, plays in that movie. It is classic 80s action.
And Jesse Ventura played in Running Man. It's like him and Arnold had a good connection.
Yeah.
And there was another wrestler that played in Running Man, and I think it was Mr. Saito or Sato, whatever his name is, the Japanese guy.
Saito, I believe.
Because he played in GoldenEye. And through that hat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was a good actor too.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I got this list on my phone, and my phone keeps going out. All
right, moving on to another one. All right, here we go. Another comedy from back in the early 80s. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite comedies. Body Slam.
Oh, gosh. There it is. Here we go.
This is a list, folks.
It is just massive. You got Alpha and Sika.
Yep.
Alexis Smirnoff, which he was a Russian back in the day.
Yeah.
Of course he was American, but he played a Russian.
Right.
Then we had the Barbarian.
Oh, yeah. Barbarian.
Bruno Sammartino.
Bruno.
Buddha Khan, which his name is Tijo Khan.
Tijo Khan, yeah, the dude with the little
mohawk. He
thing.
really didn't do much.
Yeah.
Captain Lou Albano.
Captain Lou.
And Freddie Blassie was in it. And Ric Flair was in it.
Woo! The Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Yes.
Yep.
That movie is great. Roddy Piper was also in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you mentioned him or not. I'm pretty sure you probably did. But
they got.
There's so many.
They were the main characters.
Yeah.
Him and Tonga Tonga.
Tonga.
Or the Tonga Kid.
Tonga Kid. Yeah.
Whatever you want to call him.
That movie was so good. It also had Dirk Benedict, who played Faceman in the A-Team back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And he was trying to get back into making money because he was down on his luck. His career was falling. He was a promoter. Well, not really a promoter. He was a manager of rock and roll band. And he was having trouble getting them gigs and this kind of thing. So then he stuck his nose into Roddy Piper's business and all of a sudden found himself as a wrestling promoter or a manager for Roddy Piper and his partner, the Tonga Kid. And then he created Rock and Wrestling and had booked shows, his wrestling shows and concerts at the same time for both his band and his wrestlers.
Well,
that movie's hilarious.
This movie came out in '86, so that was like at the peak of
Oh yeah,
You know,
that
right
was
it was right in there to where it was popular.
yeah.
You know,
Wrestling was
it
starting
was getting popular.
was getting momentum and going in, getting momentum and pulling people in that may have never even heard or seen wrestling before.
And what flipped me out the most was WWF guys and NWA guys was in it together.
Yeah.
And AWA guys, because that's
Yeah,
where Alex
AWA guys.
Smirnoff come from.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
But the soundtrack was really good.
Yeah, it had an awesome soundtrack. It had an awesome soundtrack. I'd love to have a soundtrack if I could get it from somewhere. But
Yeah, probably about $1 million.
about $1 million
probably.
bucks, yeah. All right. So we're going to move on to our next film. This is another comedy. Big Mama's House 2. Now, this is the one with
Stacy Keibler.
Stacy Keibler was in it. But it was, what was the...
Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence, yeah. This was the Martin Lawrence movie. Stacy Keibler was... It's a good movie. I haven't watched it in freaking years.
Yeah.
I mean, just years since I've seen this last. But Stacy Keibler's in that. It's funny. If I remember correctly, it is so funny. So you need to watch it. It's kind of like
Stacy Keibler and them long
those
legs. Have mercy.
She was Stacy Keibler in WWE. She was Miss Hancock in WCW.
Yep.
But yeah, she played in that. So check it out.
Oh my gosh, wait a minute. There's more.
There's more in that?
I didn't even notice that.
Okay, who else was in it?
Man. I more or less named off some of them, but some of these we won't even know.
Oh, that's Body Slam.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's Body Slam.
Yeah,
that's
Body
my bad.
Slam.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I haven't seen the area going.
All right, so moving on. Okay, this next one is a remake of a 70s classic. It's Walking Tall.
With Dwayne
The Rock Johnson. The Rock.
We could do another daggone video here of nothing but the Rock movies.
And John Cena.
But anyways, this is my favorite
Yeah.
movie that Rock ever played in. Because he was just a bad cat in that movie.
This movie was, like I said, it was a remake of a 1970s film that was actually based on a true story. The original was. Now, I don't know if they took some snippets from the true story in The Rock's version or not. I don't know. But the original was based on a true story. And it starred Joe Don Baker. The Rock played in the remake. It was a very, very good remake.
Yep.
A very good movie. The Rock submitted his career as an actor in this movie. In this movie. Okay? Great movie. Great movie. All right. Moving on. Now we're getting into my neck of the woods. Horror. Okay, here we go. See No Evil, Part 1 and 2.
Which is Kane.
Kane. They could not find a better person to play Jacob Goodnight than Kane. Okay? Both movies were excellent slasher films, and like I said, they could not find a better person to play that character.
And he hardly didn't even talk at all.
Did not say hardly anything.
I think he might have said about, like, what?
One or two words, maybe.
One or two words
not
in the
very
first
much,
one.
if any at all.
And then in the second one, when it got kind of into the drama a little bit, he might have had like a few lines, but other than that,
yeah, he didn't hardly say anything at all. And I mean, the story for both films was very, very well done.
yeah.
Now don't correct me, correct me if I'm wrong, but and I know I'm going to butcher this, but I think it's the Saska sisters directed
the sisters.
the second film, and they also directed a remake to the I think it was 1970s classic Rabid, and that movie, wow, those girls, they know how to direct a horror film. That's all I can say. They know how to make it.
Is that on the list? That Rabid?
No, it is not.
Well, it had CM Punk.
Yeah, CM Punk. That's why we didn't put it on the list, because we don't like CM Punk. All right. So, but they know how to direct. They knew how to direct a horror film. I think, if I'm not mistaken, See No Evil 2 was the first film that was their directorial debut. Don't quote me on that. I think it was. But I was thoroughly overjoyed with the way that both films turned out.
Catherine Isabel was in it too.
Catherine Isabel was in it too. If you do not know her, then you need to go watch Ginger Snaps. An excellent werewolf movie. And you also may know her from Supernatural. She played in an episode of Supernatural. She had mental abilities just like Sam. She could see the future, just like Sam Winchester could. So, yeah, but she's a great actress. Both movies are very good. Well, all three. Ginger Snaps, See No Evil 1 and 2, and Rabid. All great films. Great films.
I got mental abilities too. I can snap at
Drop of a hat?
I can snap and drop a hat and drop about as many F-bombs as anybody could ever drop.
All right. That's funny. Moving on. Okay. Here's one. It's the guy's not one of my favorite people. He ranks right up there with CM Punk. Mr. Nanny.
Oh gosh, I want to find this movie.
Mr. Nanny.
Yeah.
This movie was a comedy film. It was pretty good.
It was funny, but for what it was. But Hogan was in it.
Hulk Hogan.
Alpha from the Wild Samoans.
Alpha.
His brother, Brutus Beefcake. George the Animal Steel. Jim Neidhart from the Heart. I get ready to say Heart Foundation.
Heart Foundation, not Fart Foundation. Heart Foundation.
And Kamala.
Kamala, the Ugandan giant.
That's the only reason why I watched that movie. Was all them guys was in it, and they had some of them had some acting skills.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was crazy.
I mean, well, look, going beyond Hulk Hogan in this movie, which he didn't do too bad. I just don't like him as a wrestler. But anyways,
I don't like him as a person.
Mr. Nanny was a great movie. You had all these other wrestlers in it. It was funny. It was entertaining. If you haven't seen it and you have the spare time, go ahead and watch it. You can
probably find it just about anywhere.
You could probably find it on your streaming service like Netflix or Hulu or maybe even Amazon Prime. You might be able to find it on Prime to watch it on Prime or Paramount Plus. But yeah, it's worth watching. It's worth watching. All right, moving on. The great sci-fi classic John Carpenter's They Live.
That was Mr. Piper. One of my favorite all-time wrestlers.
The Hot Rod, Roddy Piper.
Yeah. I mean, you can see memes all the time online.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got that right there. I'm here to chew bubble gum. I'm here to chew bubble gum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubble gum.
Yeah. This movie had one-liners galore. It's John Carpenter. It's classic. And it's Roddy Piper. You can't get no better than that. You can't get no better than that. I'm sorry. You just can't. Yeah. Classic. If you haven't seen this, hit yourself in the head with a rock and go find it on your streaming service, wherever you can find it at to watch it, because you need to watch it. Okay?
Yep.
All right. Moving on. One of my favorites. It's a low-budget film. A lot of people don't like it, but I really don't care. Sharknado. The classic Sharknado. Okay, number one.
Was it Jericho?
Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho was in it, and Kurt Angle was in it.
Kurt Angle.
Now, I don't like the Sharknadoes.
Yeah, he did.
But we got to give those two guys credit for being in such a crappy movie.
Hey, come on now. Come on. It's sharks, okay? You knew I was going to watch it when it came out.
Yeah.
I've seen all 5 of them. Matter of fact, I think there's 6 of them. I might have seen all
Bless
6.
your heart.
They're good movies. They're good movies.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay. All right. Moving on. This is a good one right here. If you haven't seen these, it's a Quentin Tarantino. It's Planet Terror, and that was part of the dual double feature. It was Planet Terror and what was the other one?
Death Proof.
Death Proof. Yeah, with Kurt Russell. Now, Planet Terror also had Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis was in Planet Terror. It had a good cast. Bruce Willis. Of course, Tarantino was in there somewhere in that one. And what's her name from Charmed was in it. I can't think of her name right off the bat.
Yeah, because she was in Ready to Rumble too.
Ready to Rumble too, yeah.
I forgot to.
I can't think of what her name is. But anyways, what wrestlers was in Planet Terror?
Test
Okay.
was in it.
Okay.
Said he was a Nazi boxer, and Vladimir Kozlov, who was in WWE for like a short time.
Yeah,
they built him up pretty good, and then next thing you know, normal WWE just plop.
He was doing comedy stuff with Santino Marella.
Yeah, that really
towards the end of his career. So yeah,
Test, I have a lot of respect for him.
A lot of respect for Test.
Bless his heart, he's gone.
Yeah, a lot of respect for Test. And he had just really, I don't know, he kind of he dwindled a little bit, and then he started getting good, and they started pushing him, and then they just kind of.
He was like a seesaw.
Yeah, he was up, down, up, down, up, down.
And Stacy Keibler managed him too.
Yeah, Stacy Keibler managed him for a while when he was over there.
This phone is getting on my nerves.
Okay, we're almost done here. All right, the next movie. Oh, great. Another Hogan film. No Holds Barred.
Yeah, here we go.
Who else was in
Now
that?
this was chock full of guys.
Okay.
Had Demolition Axe.
Yeah.
Mean Gene Okerlund.
Mean Gene.
Howard Finkel, the ring announcer.
Yeah.
Of course, we know Hogan was in.
No.
Zeus.
Yeah.
Jeep Swenson. A lot of people don't know who that is.
Swenson. Oh my gosh.
Jeep Swenson also played in one of the Batman movies back in the day. This was like in the 90s. And he played the first Bane.
Yeah.
He played the first Bane because this guy was like, I don't know, he was medium-sized height, maybe about 6 foot something or another, but this guy was jacked.
Yeah.
I mean, he was jacked. But bless his heart, he's gone.
Yeah.
Jesse Ventura, the
Jesse
governor.
Ventura, of course, yep.
Joey Morella.
Yeah.
He was a referee back in
ref.
WWF. And his daddy was Gorilla Monsoon.
Yep.
And then you got an old wrestler named Joe LeDuc.
Joe LeDuc.
He wrestled in... Where was it he wrestled in?
LeDuc was in...
Dude, he was in...
He
was everywhere.
Yeah.
But his main... He wrestled in WWF too, but he didn't last there long. But his main feud was with Jerry Lawler in Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis.
Because Joe LeDuc, messed Lawler up bad. He was out for months.
That was his mainstay there, was Memphis.
Stan Hansen was in it.
Stan Hansen, rest his soul. Rest his soul. Stan Hansen.
No, he's still alive.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he is.
Pardon my French. I'm sorry. I don't wish nothing bad on you, Hansen. Don't come spit tobacco in my face.
Or pop out his eyeball.
Or pop out my eyeball. Don't do that either.
Stan Hansen was the man. He's up in my top 10.
Yeah.
And then,
he's one of those guys that was like a Bruiser Brody.
yeah.
That would just go in there and beat your ass rather than stand there and look at you for 20
or
minutes.
even win.
Yeah, I mean.
And then we got the last guy is Mr. Sex Trafficker himself, Vinnie Mac.
Oh, Vinnie Mac.
And I may get a lot of hate on this, but you know what?
Hey,
I don't care.
I'm surprised you didn't break out into that stand back routine off the Pile Driver album
Stand back. That's a fact.
when he was in that movie. All right.
Everybody but the boy. Everybody told me. Okay.
All right, there we go. All right. Next movie. This is a classic here. Escape from New York with Kurt Russell. I haven't seen that movie in a while, man. That is a very, very good movie. That movie's classic.
Whenever I remember renting it back in the day because I had watched it whenever I was a kid. But I didn't realize that these two guys were in there until I seen them.
Yeah.
It was a young Bam Bam Bigelow.
Wow, yeah.
This is before he had the flames on his head.
Mm-hmm.
And the man of the heart punch, Ox Baker.
Ox Baker. Now, he was a wild looking guy.
Now this guy had a mustache. And he was scary looking.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Ox Baker was great.
Now, wait a minute. Here's a fact.
Okay.
This is a fact. And I've seen documentaries on it. He used to use the heart punch a lot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he punched the guy in the ring. And the guy fell down. And he didn't move. So they went out there and they took him out on a stretcher. And he died on the way to the hospital. But they didn't know that this guy had like high blood pressure and all that stuff, and he had a heart attack in the ring. But the sad part of it is, they said that the heart punch killed him.
Yeah.
And that's when Ox Baker back in. Before that, I mean, he wasn't nothing.
Yeah.
But that's what elevated his career.
Yeah.
But it's just a sad way.
It's a sad way to do it.
do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. But Ox Baker, he was something else, but he was a madman. He was a madman. All right, moving on. The last one on the list. And this is one I hadn't seen myself. I've never seen this. And I probably won't ever sit down to watch it. The Devil's Rejects. I'm not a big fan of Rob Zombie films since he did the Halloween remakes. No. Just no. The first Halloween remake was good, but the second one pure trash.
The House of a Thousand Corpses, I kind of followed it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was too weird for me.
Yeah.
I could not get into it.
It was way out there. Way out there. So
but this Devil's Rejects was, it's like it finished it. It finished all of it. So they had good old DDP in it.
Diamond Dallas Page.
As a bounty hunter. And he took these freaks on. And he kind of like beat the tar out of all of them. Yeah. But then, well, I ain't gonna give out the.
But
I'm not gonna give no spoilers because the movie was good. If you're a Rob Zombie fanatic, watch it. But whenever I watched it, I was like, wow, they ended that weird stuff.
I'm not a big fan of Rob Zombie stuff, so I'll probably never watch it. But
it was a good movie.
And I mean, like I said, there's scores and scores and scores of movies out there that we didn't mention that wrestlers have played in. I mean, there's a ton. You can make videos
Other
on
videos.
You can make videos on this for years to come.
They're like with John Cena.
Yeah.
The Rock.
The Rock.
Kevin Nash.
Dean Ambrose. Randy Orton. The Miz. I mean, there's so many.
John Morrison. John Morrison plays in so many B-rated flicks. It's
Kurt Angle's played in so many. I mean, it's crazy.
There's a lot of them.
It's crazy. There's a lot of them. There is a lot of them.
But I don't want to come off as being like a smart aleck, but I like the biographies. I've always been into the biographies and the documentaries about wrestling. And as far as whenever I watch it, it sticks in my head.
Yeah.
I'm one of them wrestling trivia buffs. And
it just sucks into your brain.
It sucks into my brain. It's been like that since I was a child. Because I knew the stuff was staged by the time I was almost 11. I was like, why is it whenever I get punched in the mouth, I bleed and they don't?
Yeah.
You know? That's what intrigued me. I just wanted to know how they did it.
And, you know, we've watched it for years. We've watched it since we were kids. That's why we can pretty much kind of predict things coming and going pretty much off and on. But anyways, that's a lot. That's a list. That's our list. Movies that we've seen. There's, like I said, there's more out there. There's a ton of them out there.
And we could do another video on Zeus.
Yeah, another video on Zeus. Zeus, you know, he wrestled one match. He teamed with Macho Man Randy Savage and took on Hulk Hogan and Beefcake. Yeah. But anyways, all right. That was the video. That was the list for today. All right. So now, remember what I told you. The new schedule is going to be Mondays and Saturdays. and that'll start. Now there will be a video tomorrow. I'll put one out today, tomorrow, and then starting next week, it'll be Monday and Saturday.
You're gonna be a busy little boy.
Ah, well, you know, what else have I got to do?
Exactly.
But anyways, okay. So remember, Mondays and Saturday, special video tomorrow. Like and subscribe, comment, and remember to hit the notification bell so you get notified when the videos come out.
Dang.
There you go. Ding, dang. Mike, welcome back to the show, man. It's good to have you. Been a long time since we've done one, so hopefully we can keep it going and do some more. It's always a joy to do.
Joy.
It's always a joy. It's a pleasure to work with another Mike because Mikes rule the world.
We are the smartest men alive.
Yes. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, join the crowd. Come on, be back with us for tomorrow's video, and we will see you then. Bye bye.
Smell you later.